Now, continuation of question. Now you have showing all your workings. Find the area of the shaded region. So quick one, let's bring down the diagram. Let's check. Now we are asked to calculate the area of this shaded region, and if you check this very well, you see that this is, we can just say that to get the area of the shaded region, we just say area under this curve. Let's say OA. Let's say OA. We can put another thing here. Let's say M. Okay, so we can say the area under the curve OAM plus the area under the what, this triangle. This is a triangle, isn't it? So if that is the case, and the summation of these two will give you the total area under this curve. So now let's see how it works here. So as I've said, I will come here and say area under the shaded region will be equal to area under the curve, OAM plus area of a triangle, what? Triangle AMB. So if that is the case, so just to lay more emphasis on that, you have AMB as the triangle and OAM as the area under the curve. So now let's see. Now talking about the area under the curve, you all agree with me that that would be one of the applications of integration, and in most cases is usually given as y dx. How do I mean? If you check this question very well, you see that the shaded area is to the x-axis. So in that case, I'm going to have the x there. But if it is to the y-axis, then I'm going to write x dy. So if that is the case, plus what then is the area of a triangle? Of course, that is half times base times height. So if that is the case, we're going to have integral of y. We already know what the value of y is 2 square root of x, which is x raised to the power half, just to make the calculation very easy, and half times the base. The base, if you check this diagram very well, what will be the base? Now you already have x to be what? You have x to be 6, isn't it? Of course. So if the coordinate of b is 6, 0, you have 6 here, and of course if you check this very from what we have here, this is 4. So if this is 4, this is 6, you agree with me that the area of this base will be 2. So I'm going to put 2 here. I'll put 2 here times the height. Now let's see, what will be the height? From here to here will be along the y-axis, and that is 4. So you have 4. Good. So now let's say integrate 2x raised to power half. You're going to have 2x raised to power 1 over 2 plus 1 over half plus 1. 2 will cancel 2, you have 4 here. So now let's move on. What will this be? This is going to be 2x raised to power 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2 plus 4. And let's see, this is going to be 2x raised to power 3 over 2. I think we forgot to include our limits. Yes, okay, don't worry. Let's see what will be the limits. Quick one. Our limit here is going to be 0 to 4. Okay, so we have 0 to 4. So that means we are dealing with a definite integral. So this is 0 to 4. So of course, once you integrate, you take it from 0 to 4, and of course the same thing is also applicable here, from 0 to 4, and here you have times 2 over 3, 0 to 4 plus 4. So now let's see how this works. 2 times 2 gives 4 over 3, and you have x raised to power 3 over 2, and of course we take it from 0 to 4 plus 4. So tell me, if I'm dealing with this, I'll first of all substitute the value of the upper limit minus the value of the what, the lower limit. So here you're going to have 4 over 3 times, here will be 4 raised to power 3 over 2 minus, of course, if you put 0 in here, everything here will be 0. So no need to what? Waste our time. So we have plus 4 here. So if that is the case, we're going to have, this means the square root of 4, which is what? 2 raised to power 3. If you do your calculation very well, that should give you 8. So here you have 8, and you have plus 4. So this will now be equal to 32 over 3 plus 4. So you may want to do your simple calculation here. Find the LCM. 3 times 4 is what? 12. Add 12 to 32. That should give you 44 over 3. And here we can say square units. So this is the area under this curve. Next question. Question 10. You have two lines are tangent to the curve, which is this. The equation of each tangent is of the form y equal all this expression, where k is a constant. So find the two possible values of k. Now let's see, if two lines are tangent to the curve, that means the first thing first is we need to equate these two equations. So if you are equating the two equations, you're going to have 12 minus 4x minus x squared equal to 2k plus 1 minus k squared. And don't forget, the mark here is 5 marks. That's something. So now let's say we want to solve for k. So solving for k, can we just take all this expression here to the other side so that I can have a positive x squared? Let's give that a try. So I have x squared plus 4x minus 12 plus 2k plus 1 minus kx equals 0. So that means if I'm solving this, let me quickly collect like terms. I have x squared plus 4x minus kx. I have minus 12 plus 1. That will give me plus 2k minus 11. Everything will be equal to 0. So which implies that we're going to have x squared plus x bracket 4 minus k, and that will be plus 2k minus 11 equals 0. Now this is the quadratic expression that we must solve to get the value of k. But this is the truth. Now for me to get the value of k, do not forget that two lines are tangents to the curve, and the equation representing the two lines is just 1. So that means for me to get the value of k from what I have here, I'm going to be using the concept of equal root. Equal root here. So, and what's the concept of equal root? It means b squared is equal to what? 4ac. So if that is the case, we have comparing with, let's say comparing with, we want to compare this equation with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Then we're going to have a to be equal 1. We're going to have b to be equal to 4 minus k, and c to be equal to 2k minus 11. So in that case, let's quickly solve this. We have 4 minus k squared, which will be equal to 4 times 1 times 2k minus 11, which simply implies that if you express this as, if you expand this expression here, you will get 16 minus 8k plus k squared. Just expand what you have here. 4 times 1 is 4. Use 4 to multiply. Open this bracket. You're going to have 8k minus 44. So from here, we're going to solve for the value of k. So let's see how that works. So therefore, I'm going to have k squared. Let's see, if I take k to the other side here, I'm going to have minus 16k. If I have minus 16k, the next thing I'm going to have here is I have 16, and I'm taking this to the other side. It's going to be plus, add it to 16. That should give me 60. Yes, plus 60. 60 equal to what? 0. So from what I have here, I'm going to use the concept of solving quadratic equation, any one of them. So let's see how this works. I have 16 here, I have 60. So let me try factorization method first. So if I'm trying factorization method, 2 factors, when you multiply you get 60, add or subtract you get 16. Okay, that should be 10 and minus 10 minus 6k. Very good. So that means this will be equal to k squared minus 10k minus 6k plus 60 equals 0. So let's see, factorize this. You have k bracket k minus 10, yes, minus 6 bracket k minus 10 also. That will be equal to 0, which implies that k minus 6 bracket k minus 10 will be equal to 0. So either, in this case, either k minus 6 equals 0, that means k will be equal to 6, or k will be equal to 10. So the question is, find 2 possible values of k. I have the 2 possible values of k, and it will interest you. You may want to go on and solve and get some other things, but going by this question, find the 2 possible, let's bring that here, find the 2 possible values of k. So the 2 possible values of k are 10 and 6. Now the next question now is, find the coordinate of the point of intersection of the 2 tangents. Find the coordinate of the point of intersection of the 2 tangents. Now, for the fact that the 2 lines intersect each other, we are going to equate them. But before you equate them, you need to know, or you need to find their equations. So do not forget, we're given, I just want to, let me quickly make that here. We're given k and y equal to, if you check the previous one, we have y equal to 2k plus 1 minus k squared. So we're given 2k, let me check, okay, plus 1 minus k squared. So from this point, we're going to get the first one. When k equals 6, what will this equation be? It's going to be 2 multiplied by 6 plus 1 minus 6x. So what will this be? This is going to be, check, 12 plus 1, 13. I'm going to have minus 6x plus 13. That will be the first equation of, that will be the equation of the first line. Now let's see, when k equal 10, my y will be 2 times 10 plus 1 minus kx. So we have this to be 21 minus 10x plus 21. So that will be the equation of the expression that we have here. So for the fact that the 2 are tangent, since the 2 lines intersect, that means we are going to equate these 2 equations. Then we're going to have minus 6x plus 13 equal to minus 10x plus 21. So let's see, collect like terms, minus 6x plus 10x equal to 21 minus 13. This will give me 7x equal to, yes, so let's say equal to 8 here. Let's confirm it. Okay, no, this is going to be 4x. Yes, this is 4x, and this is 8. So tell me what will be my x. My x will be 8 divided by 4, and how? Dividing both sides by 4. So in that case, my x will be equal to 2. So I have my value here to be equal to 2. So the question now is, find the coordinate of the point of intersection of the 2 lines. So do not forget, you have your value of x already. So you're going to substitute that into the first equation that we have here, so that you can get the coordinates. So let's see, let's have it here. When x equal to, what will y be? Y will be minus 6 times 2 plus 13. If you solve this, this should give you 1. So the coordinates of the point of intersection of the two lines. Okay, so we have 13 here. So can we solve for the second one? Okay, let's try it. For the second one, we have this, and even if you substitute your x into the second one, you're still going to get the same. So let's check. Let me just put it here. Maybe checking here. When x equal to, let's see what this y would turn to. That will be minus 10 times 2 plus 21. If you check very well, you will have minus 20 plus 21. That will give you 1. So as I've said earlier on, you will get the same answer. So what will now be the coordinate? So we have the coordinates of the point of intersection of the two tangents is x comma y, which is equal to 2 comma 1, and that is the answer. Now we have question 11 before us. This question is on mapping or function or relation and function, or whatsoever the case may be. So let's see how it works. We have a condition here already. If you check this, you have the function f of g. F and g are defined for real values of x greater than or equal to 1 by this and this. So let's solve for g f of x. So solving for g of f of x means in the g function, wherever you see x, put f of x there. So here I'm going to be having 2f of x plus 1 over 3f of x minus 1. So let me write that here. So this is going to be 2f of x plus 1 divided by 3 f of x minus 1. So now that means where you already know the value of f of x, which is 4x minus 3. So that means this expression automatically turns to 4x minus 3 plus 1 divided by 3 4x minus 3 minus 1. So quick one, let's expand. If you expand, you have 8x minus 6 plus 1 all divided by 12x minus 9 minus 1. So that will give me 8x minus 5 divided by 12x minus 10, and that is the value of g f of x. Now talking about the second one, which is g inverse of x. G inverse of x, to solve question on g on inverse of a function, first thing first, let us use a variable, let's say variable k, to represent the function g of x. So g of x is what? 2x. So I have 2x plus 1 divided by 3x minus 1. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be solving for x. So here I said let's have it there. Let's say solving for x. Let's say on solving for x. So what will that be? First thing, cross multiply. If you cross multiply, you are going to have 3kx minus k equal to 2x plus 1, and that, which implies that, let's call it like terms, 3kx minus 2x, which will be equal to 1 plus k. And yeah, let's factorize x out. If you do that, you're going to have 3k minus 2 equal to 1 plus k. So if you solve for x here, so you're going to be dividing both sides by 3k minus 2. So therefore this value here is your g inverse of x, and wherever you see k, just substitute it with x. So I have 1 plus x divided by 3x minus 2, and that is the value of g inverse of x. Now the third question is f of g equal to x minus 1. So the same concept that we're going to be using. Do not forget your f of x is 4x minus 3. That means wherever you see x in that third equation, you're going to replace it with g of x, which is 2x plus 1 over 3x minus 1. So I'm going to do that straight away. So let's see, f of g of x, that will be equal to 4. So wherever you see x, just put the value of g of x there, and that is 2x plus 1 over what? 3x minus 1. And that's yes, so you have minus 3 here, which will now be equal to what you are giving, x minus 1. And in that case, let me just expand this. I have 8x plus 4 divided by 3x minus 1 minus 3 equal to x minus 1. So can we just cross multiply, or let's say multiply through by 3x minus 1. Here I'm going to be having 8x plus 4 minus 3 bracket 3x minus 1, which will be equal to x minus 1 bracket 3x minus 1. So in that case, you need to be very, very fast about this. Minus 9 here, 9x plus what? Plus 3, which will be equal to, this is 3x squared, this is minus x minus 3 should give you minus 4x, and this should give you plus 1. And you may want to reduce this further. Let's see, this in this, I'm going to be having minus x here, why this will be 7. So minus x plus 7 equal to, let's see this, okay, this will remain 3x squared minus 4x plus 1. So let's take all this expression to this side. I'm going to be having 3x squared there. Now if minus x gets here, it becomes plus x, and here you have minus 3x, and 7 to this side, you will have minus 6 equal to 0. And if you check this very well, you see that 3 is common. So here I can just write x squared minus x minus 2 equals 0. That means the quadratic expression here, dividing both sides by 3, will make this to be reduced to this minus 2 equals 0. So if that is the case, let's solve for x. Solve for x. Find two factors, multiply them. You have minus 2x, add or subtract, you have minus 2. Of course, that should be minus 2 and plus 1. So I'm going to be having x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2 equal 0. So here you can pick it up from there, and let's see, x is common. I have x minus 2 here, plus 1 x minus 2 equals 0. So I have x plus 1 bracket x minus 2 equals 0. So which implies that either what, this x plus 1 equals 0, which means x will be equals to minus 1, or x minus 2 equals 0, which implies that x will be equal to 2. So which one will best fit into this equation? Going by the condition given, x is a real value that is greater than or equal to 1. That means the value of x cannot be negative. So in this case, this will not be the value of x, this will be the value of x. So we have the value of x is 2, and that is the end of this question. Now question 12, we have a plane can travel at 260 km per hour in still air head due north. So if that is the case, you have this value here, due north. Look at the magnitude is 260, and of course it's going to be longer than this 40 degrees. So let me have it somewhere here. Let me just put 260 kilometers per hour. Now let's see, a wind with a speed 40 kilometers per hour from a bearing of 310 degrees blows the plane off course. Now for in order to blow this plane off course, then that means you must be moving this way or you move this way. So, and going by the bearing that we have here, 360 degrees, if it is somewhere here, 360 degrees will be in this direction. I don't think that would be a good idea. Why 360 degrees will be in this direction, which will be okay for the information that we have in this question. So quickly, I have my 4 cardinal points somewhere here. 310 degrees will be in this direction, so I'm going to be having something like this. So this angle here is going to be what, 50 degrees, and of course this is 310 degrees. So if this is 50, you agree with me that the angle here will also be 50, and we are asked to calculate the resultant force. Calculate the resultant force and its direction. This will be its direction. Let's say it's alpha, and if that is alpha, let me just say the resultant is y. This of course will be 40 kilometers per hour. So, and of course this will be the direction here. This will be the direction here. So of course, okay, so if that is the case, what then do we have here? We have, so if that is the case, let's quickly solve this. We have this, we want to calculate this, so we can just go by the way of using cosine rule. And if you are using cosine rule, I'm going to be saying y squared will be equal to 260 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 260 times 40 cos 50 degrees. That's the angle that is facing the unknown side. So if that is the case, you can punch your calculator here and do justice to that. If you multiply this, you're going to have 67,600 plus this should give me 1,600 minus, if you multiply this, you should get 20,800, and cos 50 degrees is 0.6428. So your y squared will be equal to, if you press calculator on this, you will get 55,830. So here we just want to find the square root. So let's say square root both sides. So that means you're going to have y equals to square root of 55,830, and if you punch your calculator there, you will get 236.3 kilometers per hour. So do not forget, the instruction is you have to correct to 1 dp. So that's why I'm leaving this value here in 1 decimal place. Now what will now happen for its direction? Its direction is going to be, we will get that using sine rule, and if you are using the sine rule, it will be y over sine 50, which will be equal to 40 over sine alpha. So in that case, which implies that sine alpha will be equal to 40 times sine 50, all divided by y. Of course, you know the value of y, and quick one, let's see, we have sine alpha here. Sine alpha there will be equal to 40 times sine 50. What's your sine 50? You are free to press calculator on that. Sine 50 over y, we already have y to be 236.3, which implies that sine alpha will be equal to, punch your calculator, you will get 0.1297. So yeah, alpha will be equal to arc sine 0.1297, and if you punch your calculator very well there, you will get 7.45 degrees, and to 1 dp I'm going to have 7.5 degrees. So here I have 1 decimal place. can also do the same thing here, 1 decimal place. And if you the next page is blank, and if you check the down part of it, you see where permission and some other information are written. That is to tell you that that is the end of this question for this year. So I wish you the very best of luck, stay safe, and God bless you all.